Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined. Well, I was going to say by the big dog, but
Mini me.
mini me, Bernard's on small screen today. Bernard Dineen from the Citizen Channel, Manchester, a lifelong Manchester City fan of over 60 years. How you doing, buddy?
I'm wonderful. I must admit, my brother used to claim that I wasn't a City fan till I was about 12 or 13. And then I said, well, what's this picture? And I've got my red and black strap. That was 1969-70. I said, and what's this one with sky blue that was 3 years previously? I said, but so where'd you get this? I wasn't a City fan till I was 13, rubbish.
All challenge.
He was a United fan, you see, so he was trying to. And the best of it was, Ray, I mean, obviously they'd won the European Cup in 1968, and we'd won the First Division title. I was 7 or 8 then, and I had all City stuff on my side of the bedroom. We had all United stuff on his. So I mean, obviously these United fans, they forget things, don't they?
They've got selective memories, mate.
Yeah.
Selective memories. Right, guys. Well, we drew at home to Liverpool 1 each at the weekend. A good display, but a disappointing result. We didn't take our chances again. I'm sure it's a theme of mine, especially if you've heard me this season and a bit of last season as well. But we're not really here to talk about that because people have talked about that to death. We're here to talk about Pep and his outrageous comments about the fans. Pep again has said he wants a bit more noise. He gives some hand gestures, not two-finger salutes. Like if you've seen the picture, a lot of City fans are giving old Trent the two-finger salute. If he scored, I've got to say, go and look at that picture. There's one little kid, a sly little kid at the bottom, and he's like this. He's giving it the full house, and bingo. That's what we say. But Pep's going like this, trying to G the crowd up. And so that's what we're going to talk about, the atmosphere, the timing of the game and how that affects the crowd and stuff like that. So you were there, man. You were there. So what was the atmosphere like pre-game and during the game?
Quiet, mate. It was quiet, very quiet. It wasn't a disaster, don't get me wrong. It was okay. I just thought, I think most 12:30 kickoffs, because a lot of the guys who perhaps a bit louder haven't had the beers down the necks to cause that much noise. And of course, there was plenty of half and half scarves there, but I didn't get the feeling that it was, any worse than say a good Champions League night for things.
Yeah.
But it just. I mean, Liverpool fans was a crap. I've always thought they were crap anyway. They're never very good. I mean, you go on Twitter and say, "Oh, we outsung you." For God's sake, I mean, people forget we're there. Apart from anything else, and they were quiet and we were quiet. It was hard work. It was hard work. Perhaps if we'd gone 2 or 3 ahead, it would have been a bit livelier. But at 1-0, we started. I think most City fans realise that it's 1's not enough, guys. We need a bit more. Right? You can say, right, well, that should be when you get behind your team, but sometimes when you're a bit nervy, the fans need something on the pitch to inspire us. And there was not much to inspire the fans, certainly in the second half. It was, it looked as though we accepted we're going to win 1-0 and we're happy with that. And so the players have got to take part of the blame. I fully understand Pep being a bit but sometimes you have to understand it. You can't always be bouncing, and there was no real bouncing off the fans either. So the fans couldn't bounce off each other. There's nothing on the pitch to make us sort of overly start bouncing around. So you got that sort of stymied, sort of weaker atmosphere.
Well, obviously, let's look at some of you touched on some of the reasons. Let's look at some of the reasons. A 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday morning. Oh, come on, guys. When I was younger, I'd still be coming in from the night before at 12:30 on a Saturday morning. So it's a very early start. Like you say, it's not giving people much of a chance to build up to this game because it's early. If you want to, a lot of people. I mean, some people say, if you live a little bit further away, people say that they're leaving home at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. But even if you live local, for a 12:30 start, you're going to be out the door. Unless you're on the doorstep, 11:30. I live about 10 miles away. So for me, I'd have to, I'd be leaving if I was going to. Unfortunately, I was in Northern Ireland at the time. If I was going to the game, I'd have been at my house about 10:30, 10:45. It's blooming early, that. So I can understand why it might not have been as boisterous as normal. Another thing that people have mentioned is ticket prices. Now, City are very fortunate. We've got a loyal band, a very big loyal band of season card holders. I think it's over 40,000. At one stage, it was up to, I think, 43,000 season card holders. That's a heck of a lot. But after that, you've got 10 and 11,000 tickets that are, obviously you got the whatever goes to Liverpool. You have 8,000-9,000 tickets going to City fans. Okay. But the prices of those tickets, someone said the cheapest ticket was 75 quid. And you're pricing out, I reckon, some of the local fans who will be a bit more noisy. I've got now against fans for wherever they come from, but you get a different kind of fan. And it's not saying one is good, one is bad or anything like that. I'm just stating as I see it. I think you're more local fans who've been with the club for a lot longer. Might not have the money or the opportunity to get a season card, want to go to games. 75 quid, that's a bit steep. And you might, I understand the business side of it. City want more.
And they are selling these tickets a long time in advance now, aren't they? They're actually making the effort, and then obviously any get release of those that are just on the exchange rather than anything else. So, they are getting people who are signing up for memberships and, I'm going to the Liverpool game. And perhaps they're not, dyed in the wool City fans at the end of the day. And that's the problem of selling things in advance and stuff like that.
Because if you're paid weekly, for argument's sake, you can't afford to spend some money 3 months in advance. And as I said, I understand the economics of City wanting, like Liverpool, like other clubs, they want the tourist fans because they provide more money. They're quite happy to pay a 75.
I mean, last I've not been to Liverpool for a long time, a few years now since I last went. But I mean, I think it was probably a cup match the last time I went to Anfield, and but even then you could see, for me from that, because it hadn't been a long time before that, the difference between the mix up of the fans, so many touristy fans. The last time I went, and I assume it's not improved any from when I went a few years back.
Got about 26,000 or 27,000 season card holders. The rest are on.
Yeah, they can flog them, don't they, to all the fan base.
Absolutely. That's why I think that's one of the main reasons they get so much money on match day income, is because they've got all these tickets that they can flog at ridiculous prices. And the thing is, people will pay. And we're in a similar situation. People will pay. You'll find the people. Some of them might have to fly across from America or wherever. But the package deals work better for City financially. A fan who comes in and is quite happy to spend 100 quid in the club shop, spend 30, 40 quid on food. Let's say there's a couple, they spend 30, 40 quid on food and drink. Thee and me, most of the time I go, I don't buy anything anymore. I've got as many kits as I want. I've got 2 home kits this season, and somewhere I should have. I'm going to do what's the word? I forgot the right word. I'm going to do a box opening of my commemorative treble-winning shirt. It was supposed to have arrived whilst I was away. So I've got enough shirts. I'm not going to be buying.
You've not got it yet? You've not got your shirt yet?
Well, I might have got it. I only I drove back from Northern Ireland yesterday, mate. I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm knackered. I even checked anything that I've got a few parcels and letters. I'll deal with them tomorrow. But what I'm saying is,
quite funny actually. I saw a complaint saying that they weren't fresh signature. They were printed signatures. So the players are gonna be bothered doing it. Each one of them,
No. You paid the money for it.
Yeah, I see the point. But I mean, how many was there?
I don't know. I bought mine on. I think bought mine on the last day that you could do it. You mentioned. I'd seen it. And I thought, I'm not bothered. Then you mentioned that you're going to get one. I thought, go on then. But it's one of those. I spend the money because on that day I had the money, and then I thought to myself, I wish I hadn't spent that money. I could have done with that in tough times. But So we're not going to go and spend a lot of money on food and drink and merchandise and stuff like that. Go on the club. I mean, that's an easy one for the club to make money is on the tour. The tour is just free, almost free money. Whereas, if they sell a shirt, they only get a small proportion. If they sell food, they get a proportion. But going on a club tour, if it's costing 25 quid, most of that is just straight profit. So if there's 2 people going on that, it's 50 quid. And merchandise and stuff, this club might get an extra 15 or 20 quid out of it for merchandise and food and stuff. But you and me are not going to do that. So I understand the economics, but the half and half brigade, they do have there's a different atmosphere. They're not as I'm going to use a word that I think Mike used it on a podcast once, and the cheeky swine asked me to tell him what it meant. Febrile atmosphere. It's a lot of nervous energy and excitement, and I think if you're this is not an us and them, local fans and long-time fans against recent fans, but the way we support the club is different. I do believe the local fans, longer-term fans, are noisier, more raucous, more excited, especially when you got things like big games against Liverpool or the derby game coming up, whenever that is. We think about it for the week beforehand in a different way. Other people might be thinking, I'm going to get, they might be excited because they're coming to fly over and come to see Manchester City play. But it's a different kind of excitement. Ours is, I can't, it's hard to explain really. But do you think there's a different level of feeling for local fans?
Yeah, there must. I think there has to be. I mean, it's at the end of the day, I mean, Liverpool in previous seasons, I mean, this felt odd. I mean, perhaps because it's so early in the season, yeah. I don't know as well. Play, 13 games in, all right. It's not the be all and end all, and I don't think we were confident of winning. Of course we were, but I mean, the local fans were. I don't know. Did I sing any louder than I normally would? Probably not, actually. I probably didn't sing as loud as perhaps I do in another game. I don't know. Yeah. It's just the game itself. I'm not going to say it was the lack of local fans or anything like that. I mean, even I was sort of toned down a little bit. I didn't feel quite up for it. And I know, all right, I'm not, and there's no logic for that, apart from it being I was working till 9 and I had to rush there to myself to get there. Because I like to have a couple of hours. I don't want to get there like just before kickoff. I like to have a stroll around and have a drink with my lad and stuff like that. And it didn't feel the same. I usually sometimes go in Mary D's, but I walked past. You couldn't hear any singing or anything, because obviously it probably hadn't filled up by then anyway. That sort of time I got there about 10:30, 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? So, but usually that'd be derby days, Liverpool games. That'd be buzzing at even a couple of hours before kickoff, But it just wasn't the same. And as I said, Liverpool fans probably had the same problem. I'm saying they're rubbish, and they are usually, but even they were quieter than normal than what they usually are. There's a reduced number of them, wasn't there, that they didn't like, but.
Because they don't behave well enough.
I believe they brought their own nails and stuff like this just to show that they were getting attacked by little nails that wouldn't fly through the air at any sort of speed whatsoever. But hey, there you go.
No, but they complain about whatever they can. They complain about our fans. They weren't noisy. They complain about their allocation. Complain about this and that. They shouldn't. After this game, they should be glad they got away with the point. They didn't deserve it. In my opinion, but do you think
it's a bit of both? I mean, Pep's right and Pep's wrong. It's a bit of both. He can't put it at the fans' door because he's been praising the fans recently all the time, but he throws these odd ones in, and it probably works actually because I think the next game the fans are louder, so it probably does work.
That was going to be my last point. Yeah. You've taken 3 of my points away from me today, but my point is this going to set us up for that game? Next game is Spurs 4:30 on a Sunday. Now, it's a good afternoon kickoff. Everybody's had a few hours to get over the hangovers or whatever, get to the ground and do whatever they needed to get that build-up going. Do you think that the atmosphere is going to be explosive against the
No. Yeah, I think it'll be better than Liverpool, but I don't think it's going to be explosive because they've already started bottling it, haven't they? So they're not the threat that we probably thought they would be a month ago, you know. But as you say, they can still. Everyone's saying, "Oh, they've lost 3, so they're bound to beat us." I don't look at it like that. We should be able to stuff them. We should be able to do what we should have done to Liverpool, and so atmosphere-wise, it will be better. But that might be helped by what goes on the pitch as well.
Yeah. And I'll guarantee you this now, guys. I'll guarantee City are going to beat Spurs. Stuffing, hope so. But I think that's my guarantee. Cast iron guarantee to you guys. City are going to beat Spurs. Sadly, I won't be there. I got a job. After all that, no, I got a job on Sunday. Now, normally, when I need it, I've got one of my guys. He'll cover for me, and I got this gig on Sunday, and I automatically thought, yeah, I'll pass it on to him straight away. You know, get my commission for getting the gig, and I'll just pass it on to him. And he come back to me and said, no, I can't do it. Blooming heck. I'll just have to take the money then. That's why, unfortunately, sometimes it boils down to I can't drop them now that they're excited for me to turn up, so I can't say no. But yeah, I won't be there. But I think, yeah, you're right. The atmosphere will be better. How much better will depend on what is happening on the pitch. If there are any incendiary moments, if City score a couple of goals, if, you know, a bit of good play or whatever, then I think the atmosphere will change. And sometimes you need a little bit of action on the pitch, a flare up or something. To get the crowd going, but fingers crossed, you know, there'll be enough going on the pitch to excite the fans. Bernard, buddy, thanks so much for joining me today, and have a good week, mate.